Hi everyone, this is Space Toad and welcome to this new BuildCraft video. Today I'm going to show to you the new next-gen BuildCraft release called 6.04 and the various new features that have been implemented in that. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing that I'd like to show is the stripe pipe here, which has been completed from the previous version. So as you can see, the stripe pipe still places an item in the world, but now if you are providing power to the pipe, it's going to grab the block in front of it, so swallow the item, if you will. Anyway, that's completing the stripe pipe and make it work a bit like the way it worked before. Now, a lot of things that happen in that release is fixing and stabilizing the builder. So let's have a look at the new things that are working now. Support for seeds have been implemented. So now here I've got a small area with a couple of plants, crops that are growing. I'm going to get a blueprint out of it. I don't need to name it actually, a name is good enough. And as you can see, I can create this thing here. And BuildCraft will automatically detect that there are some crops. It will create them with the default color in terms of fertilization, and as you can see, the actual crops start minimum, whereas here in the blueprint they were already grown to some extent, as to keep some level of gameplay here and avoid creating a blueprint with already grown crops. Anyway, that's one of the things that has been implemented. There are others. If I go on this one, you will see that there are a couple of entities in the blueprints. Now, blueprints can record some entities as well as block, and in particular, these hanging things here can be recorded as well as minecarts. So, same thing. I'm going to create a blueprint of this to demonstrate this capability and replicate it, let's say here. And as you can tell, it's building correctly. By the way, you can see that tracks got built correctly as well. They were not completely working a couple of releases ago. Anyway, carrying on. In some cases, it's better to avoid recording too complex objects within blueprints. In technical sense, a complex object is an object that is more than a bare block. So that's an object that carries some mechanics, carries some inventory. The most simple example of these complex objects are chests. So let's say that I've created a structure and I don't want those complex objects to be recorded because maybe they won't be properly recorded in the blueprint, and that happens a lot, in particular if you're creating blueprints that contains elements from other mods and you want only to record simple elements. In order to do that, I have a new setting in the blueprint which allows to select only the simple block. So I'm clicking on this button here to switch the setting, and now if I get this blueprint and if I try to recreate this structure, let's say here, so as you can see, the blocks are indeed created, but the inventory is not. So this is useful again if you're creating a blueprint out of contents that are coming from other mods and you're afraid that the pieces that are too complex may corrupt the blueprint. This setting will allow to get only the simple blocks recorded in the blueprint. Talking about other mods, as you can see here, I have created a structure with BuildCraft. Now, BuildCraft doesn't have any specific support for BuildCraft blueprint at this stage, and this will have an impact on how well they work. In particular, if I don't change anything here and I just create a blueprint, and let's say if I try to replicate this blueprint here, it should not work too badly, but as you can tell, the seats here are not complete. I'm not sure how I can enhance that, so that's a limitation that is due to the fact that no explicit support has been provided by BuildCraft for BuildCraft blueprints yet. And the other thing is that rotation didn't quite work correctly. Now, on that second part, it's possible to work around the issue. So I'm going to go back here and create a new blueprint, and this time I say do not rotate the blueprint. And this way, the blueprint will always be built in the same direction. So in particular, if I create the same thing again, let me just remove those things. Let's create here. So same blueprint. But this time, as you can see, it created the blueprint on the left, so it did not rotate it, and things are a little bit better. Now again, as you can tell, there is a subset of third-party modes that will be supported off the shelf from the BuildCraft blueprint mechanisms, and other things that will not. And here you can tell that shelves are working properly, but seats aren't completely working out of the box. Anyway, that's, I believe, the main features I wanted to show here. Now, just that you know, there have been a lot of blueprints provided by players on the BuildCraft forums, and I'd like to give you a little tour of the things that can be downloaded and built in from the BuildCraft forum, which has a section dedicated to blueprints. So here are a couple of constructions. I must admit, I do not understand how all of them work, but they give you an idea of the kind of things that you can record and create in blueprints. Here we have a dragon that's built out of pipes. This huge structure here, I believe, is a pig farm, or pig mine farm rather, and I'm again not quite sure how it works. There is a lever at the top, I believe, that does stuff. Let's see. Okay, and probably eventually this will generate some pigmen. Here come a small structure here. A small house would be an obsidian bunker. This is another example of using BuildCraft in a BuildCraft blueprint. Those two big structures are factories, I think rather even power plants. You see that there's a complex system here to produce power out of fuel, I would say. Carrying on, you have another kind of factory here, and some other mechanisms. All of these can be downloaded from the BuildCraft forum website. I will give you a link at the end of the video. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about right now. Again, 604 is going to get released pretty soon. Thanks a lot for having watched the video, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.